Good morning, Class 5-1 Orange Group. Mr. Waterman here with today's Language Arts lesson in Period 3 on Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. Yes, we are online again, but this is how it is. We have 1 week of school left. We can get through this together, and then we will have a nice long summer holiday. Okay. So for your first lesson, we are going to read 2 stories. We're going to read and compare, okay? And the first story we are going to read is called Little Grunt and the Big Egg. This is a prehistoric fairy tale, written and illustrated by Tommy DePaulo. We want to find out what happens when a boy finds the biggest egg he has ever seen. For the strategies we are going to use while reading this story, we're going to predict, think about what happens in the story. We're going to infer. We're going to want to find out more information about what is happening in the story and why. And then we are going to summarize the details of everything that have happened in the story, okay? The next story after that is called Mighty Dinosaurs. Now, this is going to be a nonfiction piece. We are going to discover facts about dinosaurs that lived on Earth millions of years ago. The strategies we want to use, we want to monitor and clarify information. So if there's anything that you don't understand, you can reread the passage, and that will help answer any questions you have. The strategies in action, you want to be sure to use all your reading strategies as you read these selections. Now, I'm going to read both stories. Please listen very carefully and feel free to read along. After I have read each of the stories, I want you to reread each story out loud 2 times. Read it out loud by yourself once, and then I would like you to read it out loud to mom or dad, or even your sisters and brothers. It's great practice. Let's begin. Little Grunt and the Big Egg, written and illustrated by Tommy DePaulo. Little Grunt and his family live in a mountain cave. One day, Little Grunt brings home the biggest egg he has ever seen. The whole family is surprised when the egg hatches into a baby dinosaur. The Grunts agree to let Little Grunt keep the dinosaur as a pet. I'm going to call him George, said Little Grunt. Little Grunt and George became great pals. But there was a problem. The cave stayed the same size, but George didn't. He began to grow. What is Little Grunt feeding George? And grow, and grow. The cave got very crowded. And there were other problems. George wasn't housebroken. George ate all the leaves of all the trees and all the bushes all around the cave. But still, he was hungry. George liked to play rough. George stepped on things. And when he sneezed, well, it was a disaster. Oh my. Ooga, ooga! Enough is enough, said the Grunts. Either that dinosaur goes, or I go, said Uncle Grunt. I spend all day getting food for him, said Aunt Grunt. Achoo! said Papa Grunt. "I told you I was allergic to him." "He stepped on all my cooking pots and broke them," said Mama Grunt. "I guess it wasn't a good idea to keep him," said Granny Grunt. "How about a nice little cockroach? They make nice pets." "I'm in charge here," said Chief Rockhead Grunt, "and I say that giant lizard goes." "Ooga, ooga!" "Yes, yes," said all the grunts. "But you promised," said Little Grunt. Oh dear. How does George look? The next morning, Little Grunt took George away from the cave, out to where he had found him in the first place. "Goodbye, George," said Little Grunt. "I'll sure miss you." "Mog," said George. Big tears rolled down both their cheeks. Sadly, Little Grunt watched as George walked slowly into the swamp. "I'll never see him again," sobbed Little Grunt. "Oh, that's sad." The days and months went by, and Little Grunt still missed George. He dreamed about him at night and drew pictures of him by day. "Little Grunt certainly misses that dinosaur," said Mama Grunt. "He'll get over it," said Papa Grunt. "It's nice and peaceful here again," said Aunt and Uncle Grunt. "I still say a cockroach makes a nice pet," said Granny Grunt. "Ooga, ooga! Torches out! Everyone in bed," said Chief Rockhead. That night, the cave started to shake. The floor began to pitch, and loud rumblings filled the air. "Earthquake!" cried the grunts, and they rushed to the opening of the cave. "No, it's not," said Granny Grunt. "Look! Volcano!" And sure enough, the big volcano was erupting all over the place. Steam and rocks and black smoke shot out of the top. Around the cave, big rocks and boulders tumbled and bounced. "We're trapped! We're trapped!" shouted the grunts. "What are we going to do?" "Don't ask me," said Chief Rockhead. "I resign." That means he quit. "Now we have no leader," cried Aunt Grunt. "Now we're really in trouble," shouted Papa Grunt. The lava was pouring out of the volcano in a wide, flaming river and was heading straight for the cave. There wasn't enough time for the grunts to escape. All of a sudden, the grunts heard a different noise. Wonk, wonk. "It's George!" cried Little Grunt. "He's come to save us." "Ooga, ooga! Quick!" said the grunts, as they all jumped on George's long neck and long back and long tail. And before you could say Tyrannosaurus Rex, George carried them far away to safety. George is a hero. And now we move on to the nonfiction piece, Mighty Dinosaurs by Judith Simpson. The Age of Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs roamed the earth millions of years ago. Dinosaur means terrible lizard, and like lizards, dinosaurs were reptiles. We know a lot about dinosaurs from their remains, which we have found buried in rocks and beneath sand. Dinosaurs had knobby or pebbly skin and laid eggs. Some walked on 2 legs. Others moved on all 4. Dinosaurs fed on different things. Some ate only plants. Others ate meat and hunted for their food. Dinosaurs came in different shapes and sizes. Some had very large bodies and tiny heads. Some dinosaurs had spikes or bumps on their backs. Others had horns or crests on their heads. Their skin was thick and rough. People did not live on Earth until long after dinosaurs died out. Goodness. Meat eaters. Meat-eating dinosaurs had good eyesight and a strong sense of smell. They had much larger brains than plant-eating dinosaurs, so they could plan attacks to catch their prey. Some meat-eaters lived on eggs, insects, lizards, small furry animals, and fish. Others gathered in packs to kill dinosaurs that were much bigger than themselves. Tyrannosaurus could be 3 times as tall as a man and was one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs. Tyrannosaurus was one of the last dinosaurs on Earth. Why do you think Tyrannosaurus was one of the last dinosaurs on Earth? Plant eaters. Not all dinosaurs were fierce hunters. Some ate only plants. For most of the age of dinosaurs, the weather was warm and wet. Plants grew easily, and there were lots to choose from. Plant-eating dinosaurs needed large amounts of food to give them energy. Some roamed the land, grazing on low-growing ferns. Others had long necks and, like giraffes, could stretch up to reach leaves from the tops of the tallest trees. Apatosaurus was an eating machine. To stay alive, it had to chomp through plants all day long. Goodness, would you rather be a meat-eating dinosaur or a plant-eating dinosaur? I think I'd have to go with meat. Skeletons and skulls. Dinosaurs' bones, teeth, and claws have been in the ground for so long that they have turned to stone and become fossils. Many are in broken pieces. Scientists can put fossils together to show what a dinosaur looked like when it was alive. Fossil bones tell us how a dinosaur moved. Fossil claws tell us how it hunted. Fossil teeth tell us what it ate. Space inside the skull tells us the size of its brain. Dinosaurs disappeared about 65 million years ago. What killed them? Nobody knows for sure. Allosaurus had hinged jaws. It could swallow large pieces of meat in one gulp. When dinosaurs' teeth wore out, they grew new ones. And that's it. Well, students, I hope you enjoyed both of these stories. What I would like you to do now is to go back and read Little Grunt and the Big Egg 2 times out loud, once by yourselves and then once to someone else. You're going to do the same with Mighty Dinosaurs. And in the next lesson, I will show you the writing activity I would like you to complete. If you have any questions, just email Mr. Waterman or send a message on Class Dojo. Bye-bye for now.